Good morning, I'm Raul with Realty One Group.
Welcome once again, Carlos Morales at Terra Home Loans.
Today's topic is going to be about when we get the appraisal back after Carlos has ordered this appraisal.
That's correct, Raul. Remember, this is the second part to the first video where we're already under contract and we've already done the home inspection, we've already done the appraisal. We're going to talk about what happens next and what are the possible things that can happen with the appraisal. The appraisal, once it comes back, it can come with the value that we were expecting, which is the value that we have under contract. If you're buying it for $100,000, it comes back for $100,000 or more. So we're okay in value, and it also doesn't require any repairs. Okay, that's a very good situation. We just move forward from there. But let's say the appraisal comes in low in value. Let's say you're buying the house for $100,000 and the appraisal comes in at $95,000. Okay, at that point, Raul, what do we have to do?
Okay, once we know that the appraisal came below the purchase price, there are a few things that were going to happen. Okay, and all of this is going to depend on your needs, how long you've been on the market looking for a home. Okay, but you have the option, okay, to purchase the home at the $100,000 with a value of $95,000, but that means you have to come in with that difference in cash because the loan can only be 96.5% of the appraised value, not the purchase price. So the difference will have to come in cash with you. Now you say, well, Raul, I don't want to pay $100,000 for something that is worth $95,000. So we go back into negotiating, and I'm going to tell the seller that we need them to come down from $100,000 to $95,000 to satisfy the loan, and they can agree to do this. But there's two things that can happen when this happens. If they lowered it to $95,000 and they gave you a percentage to your closing costs, they can say, well, we're going to lower the price to $95,000, but we are not going to pay the closing cost, or we're going to pay a percentage, a lower amount. Now,
so basically we go back into negotiating with the seller. But let's just say that we fix the situation, the seller agrees to lower the price, or the seller or someone in the middle, the buyer and the seller agree to something on the appraisal. Then what is the next step, Raul? What do we have to do then?
Well, before we jump into that, there's different parts, because the seller can say, okay, I'm not going to lower the price all the way. This is a negotiating item, very common. And the seller can say, I'm not going to lower the price to $95,000, but I will do this. I will accept $97,000. So that's $2,000 over appraised value. And you can say, you know what, I'll pay the $2,000, or we keep countering till we get to a number that works for you, works to the seller. Once we have agreed to all of this, we're going to move forward, and he's going to send all this stuff that we done, including the appraisal, new price, because we're going to have to put it under contract with an addendum to lower or whatever the price is. And then what happens?
Okay, let's say we now have a new contract with all the numbers negotiated to where our client is happy and the seller is happy. At that point, by then we should have already have verifications of employment. We should have already have all of your documentation, and it's time to submit your complete package to underwriting. Okay, keep in mind the underwriter is the person that ultimately decides on your loan. Okay, the underwriter is going to make sure that everything we put on the application, okay, that you've been working there 2 years, that you make so much money, all of that is what the underwriter is going to verify, that what we submitted on the application is in fact what it is. Okay, the underwriting time is going to take anywhere from 2 days to 5 days. Okay, the underwriter is also going to take into account the appraisal and all of the documentation. Once we come out of underwriting, it comes in approved with conditions or approved without conditions. If it's without conditions, we go directly to what's called documents. That's when all of your final documentation goes to title for you to sign on your final documents. But most of the time, that approval is gonna come with conditions, and the conditions are very typical. Most recent pay stubs, most recent account statement, a letter of explanation for maybe a late payment you have on your credit report, a letter of explanation as to why you did a foreclosure 4 years ago, things that are very common like that, and it shouldn't take that long to take care of those conditions and go to the final steps, which is just basically get the documents to title to sign the loan.
When you get to this point and he gets conditions of some sort, he's going to call you and say, we need this, and this is when we really need you to get everything fast. Because by this time we already went through, probably I would say, between inspections, appraisal, and underwriting, it's gone probably about 20 to 22 business days. So we are more than halfway through our 45 days. So we need to move forward, that way we can close on time.